Fae and Alchemy, Episode 13. Who's Your Daddy?
Or Kaiden Jackson and the Olympians.
Or I'll see you in Diaxis.
Or Area 51. Welcome back to Between Pages and Friends, a book club podcast hosted by Con and Lauren, two besties who read a lot of books, and John and Kyle, their gamer-turned-reader husbands who've agreed to read with them. I'm John.
I'm Con.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Lauren. Today we are discussing The End of Brimstone by Callie Hart. This book club podcast is a safe space to read along spoiler-free, but since we've now finished the book, there will be spoilers for the entire book in this episode. No spoilers for the bonus chapter here, though. We'll be reading and discussing that next week in our Q&A episode.
And treat yourself and join our Patreon family. All tiers give you access to our Discord where you can chat about each episode however you like, spoilers or not. $5 a month opens the door to live events, our book club, reading challenges, and the full archive of past content. And step it up to $10 a month and you'll enjoy early ad-free episodes, merch discounts, voting privileges, a private hangout space, and even more ways to connect with us.
Don't forget to grab your tickets to Sorcerer's Affair on April 25th at Bergmont Winery in Bucyrus, Kansas. It's a bookish lore events night with a VIP experience hosted by the four of us and other amazing creators. Tickets are limited, so snag yours now, like right now. Use code FRIENDS15 for $15 off at bookishloreeventskc.com.
And now, a message from a listener like you. Here's a recent 5-star review on Apple Podcasts from our new bestie, I want to say, HP and Twinsy. That's how I want to say it. I don't know if that's how you say it. Anyway, titled, Fun Book Read-Alongs. And she writes, they write. I don't know if it's a she. Could be anybody. Shut up. I found Between Pages and Friends thanks to John and Con's ACOTAR recaps and silliness, Teamer Sand, on Instagram, and loved their Throne of Glass podcast episodes. I like their setup of two people who haven't read the book reading along with the other two who have. These friends are so much fun, and I find myself laughing all the time. Also, they are so nice. I sometimes comment on their posts and they actually reply. It's a nice community, smiley face. I skipped their Fourth Wing episodes as I didn't enjoy that book, sorry, but jumped back into read for the first time with When the Moon Hatched. Hearing them talk about that book helped me envision some of the world-building elements, as there is much to dive into. Also, I was with Lauren on not loving it, just liked it. So thank you to Lauren for sharing her true thoughts. It's okay if we don't love every book we read. I'm currently finishing up listening to their Quicksilver episodes, hilarious, and I can't wait for their thoughts on Brimstone. Thank you, HP and Twins. And
Thank you.
Said it differently.
Thanks, pal. Well, I wanted to cover some multiple bases there, right? So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If you want a little shout out on the pod like that one, we'd love for you to write a quick review for our show on Apple Podcasts or Audible. It helps new listeners find us and makes us feel super duper special.
Super duper special.
Super duper.
Super duper.
Super duper special.
And now it's time for our final Cons Declassified Fantasy Pronunciation Guide for Brimstone. Once again, I am referencing the audiobook narrated by Stella Bloom and Anthony Palmini. Shout out to both of them. They're incredible. And here we go. In places, we had a couple new places mentioned. These were Marinth and Bodish. In characters, we have a new name for Kingfisher / Kaiden again. He was called the Child of Shadow by the Hazrax in chapter 49. We also have the Knights of the Orithian. These are Ajin Fae imbued with an old line of magic to guard the secret portal at Ajin Sky. Erison, the dragon inside the portal who claims to be the keeper of it, as well as Omnam Shakrai's mother. Githrand and Crave, the two males Fisher and Saris are speaking to in Diaxis. And then that brings us to gods, in which we have Diaxis. This is not a god, but the pantheon of undergods and the dragons they breed, aka Hell. And then lastly, we have Styx, who was mentioned before as an Evalian god of shadows, but in Diaxis, he's referred to as Lord of the Charred Aerie, King of Dragons. And now a freestyle rap from John about these chapters.
That's not fair. It's not fair. No. Chapter 48, Kaiden POV, hearing his real name for the first time and feeling the connection in his soul. Untethered from the power of the oubliette, he explodes with power, shattering his prison and sending shards flying in every direction. He sees Ceres and then Bellicon with 2 swords sticking out of him. Bellicon makes a snide remark and Kaiden roundhouse kicks him right in the face. At least that's how I picture it. Bellicon still thinks he has the upper hand now that he knows Kaiden's true name. He tries to use it against him through their oath, but another little surprise in store. Ceres used the Hazrax rune to break the oath, freeing Fisher from anyone's control ever again. She goes to grab Solus as Arias sneaks into the mix and tries to kill Ceres, but Onyx is there to save the day. Ceres stabs Arias once, he tries to go for another killing blow, and it lands. But Onyx takes the blow. In a rage, Ceres rips out his throat, and Fisher finishes the job, disintegrating Arias from the inside out with his shadows. You should have done that in the first place. Idiots! Onyx takes his last few breaths, Bellicon looking on and telling them how the fox terrorized them all night, even taking one of Arias's fingers. Good on you, buddy. They need to leave the wood, and Fisher has a plan, but once he pulls the iron sword of Nimrel free, Bellicon will have his power back. So when he does, he's ready and chops off Bellicon's head to give them time to escape. Chapter 49, Ceres POV, and several shadow gates later, they reach their destination, Agen. Ceres holding a lifeless Onyx when she sees a rune shimmer and gets a crazy idea. She summons the Hazrax to show himself to ask it a question. It's a little ticked at first, but eventually agrees to answer a question and to ask one in return. She wants to know if it can see Onyx's spirit, and it can, sitting at Ceres's feet. Then she tells them that she's going to try and save Onyx, or rather, quote-unquote, undo death, something that no alchemist has ever done before. The Hazrax warns that if she goes down this path and succeeds, it will shatter the rune that he gave her. And she's like, yeah, that's cool. She draws on her power, willing it all into Onyx through the rune, and brings Onyx back to himself. Only problem is that his physical body still needs to be healed, and Onyx starts to basically die again. Ceres draws even deeper and beyond all veils of power, sending whatever it is that she found through her shield and into Onyx as the dawn breaks over the mountains of Agen. Chapter 50, Ceres POV. She comes to, being held by Fisher running through the snow. Still reeling from the power that she expended, she notices 2 sets of prints in the snow, Fisher's and some paw prints. Onyx lives! And he's happy as can be. He's licking faces. He's doing all the things. As they head closer to the gate, Ceres notices the Fae of Agen built a structure around Omnamchakrai's bones. A shout rings out from the gate for them to hurry. Bellicon's forces have already tracked them down and are already closing in on Agen. They finally make it inside, where Renfis greets them. Bellicon's men lay siege to the city as Renfis guides them further up, explaining what happened to him on the way. He got the message to the Galarians, but then his oath mark as a knight of Orithian called him into service at Agen. And we also get the backstory of how he received it here. So back when they killed Omnamchakrai and they buried Morel at the top of the mountain after the battle, Renfis was burned with the mark. Something about like when your blood is one with a mountain, you sort of belong to it. And that was when he became a member of the Agen Fae. Then we get some reference here to how Renfis was called to protect the gate, but not the one Bellicon's men were currently laying siege to, the quote-unquote other gate, one that used to be a doorway for other creatures to come through and wouldn't close. The Knights of Orithian were created to guard the gate, 6 at all times. Alchemists would go mad from it, and this was the gate that Bellicon had sent Fisher through when he was a boy. Bellicon hoped to be rid of him, but he came back through the pool with a Quicksilver in his eye, and Bellicon sent him off to a war camp to be trained, and that's kind of like Kaiden's little history there. All this makes Ceres think back to the voice coming from Everlane about the gate being open. It did open recently, which is why Renfis was called back, and a creature came through, killed all the knights, and dragged them through. It's been opening every day since for a short period of time, which means that they need to enter it now before it closes to confront the source of Brimstone so that Ceres can finally seal her rune. It's the home of the dragons and other undergods called Diaxis. Chapter 52, Ceres POV. They go through the grimy substance and come out the other side. Ceres choking on it. As they start ahead, they were met by 2 glowing eyes. What?
The fact that you just skipped right over chapter 51.
Oh, is there a chapter 51? I must have missed it. As they start ahead, they are met by two glowing eyes, and as the darkness retreated, she notices they're inside a cavern, but not alone, as a 70-foot dragon greets them. It makes them answer some things. She gets a little smart as she reveals that its master is Styx, king of the dragons. Then Fisher tells it that they are there to have an audience with Styx. Arison spits out some brimstone at them, missing on purpose, to let them know that it could have killed them but spared them because apparently Kaidan must be brought to Styx for judgment of killing Omnamshakrai, who apparently is Arison's offspring. The heat what?
Nothing. It just sounds funny because it's like supposed to be this god of the underworld, king of the dragons, and you're like, we would need an audience with Styx. It just sounds
With
silly.
Styx.
That's all.
Sorry.
Sorry.
How do you want me to say it?
No, it's not the way you're saying it. It's just the way the name sounds.
Don't mess with his brother Rocks. He gets really mad.
My
Careful of
recording
his
name.
cousin Paper.
Yeah.
No. The old game, rock, paper, sticks.
My recording name for this week is Sticks and Brimstones.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Arison spits out some brimstone at them, missing on purpose to let them know that it could have killed them, but spared them because apparently Kaidan must be brought to Styx for judgment of killing Omnamshakrai, who apparently is Arison's only offspring. The heat swells and Ceres passes out. She comes to hanging upside down, Kaidan right next to her, and they're above a mass of people. Some voice orders them to lower Ceres and Kaidan. Ceres yells for him to wake up. He finally snaps out of it. They are lowered quickly. Ceres smacks against the floor. Kaidan's shadow starts ripping through people. A couple dudes come up to assess them. They are very interested in Nemerel, as Ceres notices one of the small blades that one of the men are carrying is actually quite similar to Nemerel, almost like a smaller version. One of the men, Githrand, mentions how Arison saw what Kaidan did to Omnamshakrai, and also their father's emissary, which we come to find out was Aerith. Kaidan puts up a shadow wall to tell Ceres that he'll tell her everything once they're safe. As he brings the wall down, the two men are surprised by the shadows, claiming that he should not have that power and that it doesn't belong in Evalia. Kaidan pulls Crave up by his armor, giving us a little nugget that only half-gods can wield shadows. And then Kaidan tells him that he's come for a dragon to summon their father and that he's come to make a trade. The end.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nice job. That was a sick beat to your freestyle rap. You're the next Eminem. Flip it around. Let's do this thing.
Put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Chapter 48 is called Folly, and it is a Kaidan Greystar Finvara POV. And in the very first paragraph of this chapter, the endless dark shatters for Kaidan as he's regaining awareness. It says, time contracted. And we still have no confirmation on time manipulation being part of Ceres's power while wielding her god sword or swords, but I was flagging this just in case. Solace is technically still lodged in Belicon's back here, though.
I only put that if time was having contractions, we might see a time baby soon. It's going into time
How
labor.
far apart are these contractions, though? That's the real question.
Oh my gosh.
That's Solace's
No, I
true
didn't
power.
know.
It puts people into labor.
We need to get to
It's
the
the
know.
tree.
inducement sword.
I wasn't sure if this was referencing he fell asleep or passed out during walking through the Shadow Gate and then woke up here. So it's like he missed
Oh, I see.
some chunk of time.
Oh,
From his perspective, maybe? I don't know.
it seemed like
I
he was
definitely
already
took it as-
awake, but
Yeah.
that
Or he went straight into torture or whatever.
I mean, he
Like
was
when he went
surprised he was
through.
in a oubliette or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was fully aware of that.
Yeah.
I felt like it was describing sort of those train crash moments, where they always say it's time slowed down. When he woke up, it was almost like he's coming to sort of thing.
yeah, and this is one of those descriptions where it's I still am not sure if it's just a description that Callie likes to use or if it's intentionally, because I think it's only ever been described about Ceres and Solace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, he wakes up and it says magic thrummed, soaring up from a well of power faster than it had ever before. Glittering and furious, it slammed out of me in every direction, obliterating the cage that held me. And I just highlighted it and just wrote, OMG. I could just imagine just like this. Whoosh, and it just, epic.
Yeah.
And then he's just there and he's all hot and ready to fight. And
And then a few short moments after that is when it says, I kicked him square in the face as hard as I could, and the king sprawled on his ass in the snow. And I was just like, hell yeah, dude. I can just see him like walking up to him and literally just giving him a side kick with the bottom of his boot or whatever, just straight in the face. It's just a great visual.
My next note is one I highlighted because I figured Khan would have put it in here, where it was talking about Bellicon, and it said he was dressed as for a great celebration. His thick chocolate brown ermine cloak was of the highest quality, though obviously ruined now thanks to the god swords. I was like, not another vest, not another coat.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody's outfit's getting ruined here.
At least this one wasn't made by Yanika.
That we
it
know
wasn't
of.
velvet.
That we know of.
That we
That's
know
true.
of.
It was not
It wasn't
velvet.
Not until we get the Yanika novella.
The Yanika POV. I don't know what ermine is, though. What is that?
It's a
Does anybody
fur.
know?
Fancy.
I forget what it's made of, but it's some kind of a fur. Oh, it's the fur of a winter stoat, of course. How could I forget?
What is a
Forgot.
stoat?
It's a short-tailed weasel.
Fitting for Bellicon.
Honestly, though.
Well,
All of a sudden, it seems much less impressive.
so unfortunately, like it probably took a lot of them to make the coat is the only difference there.
Yeah.
Even worse.
I don't know. I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
to keep it in here. I'll show you this. I don't know if you can see it, but like that's a demonstration of
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got
fur
you.
coat. You
Nice.
know, you got the cuffs, you got the collar.
Would you say it's akin to a bunch of weasels in a trench coat?
yeah, a bunch of stoats in a coat.
Oh my God.
Stoats and coats.
Stoats and coats would be a great line for a fashion label.
Sounds like you're trying to rap with boots and cats. Stoats and coats.
Fox on
More of a
socks.
tongue twister.
Okay, Dr. Seuss. My next note was just like, okay, so Bellicon said this, and I was screaming at my book. This is exactly what I said last week when he was like, she
Yes.
used your true name in front of me. She armed me with the most powerful tool. And I was like, girl, why would you freaking do this? And then like 2 paragraphs later, she's like, you really think I'm that dumb? I broke it with this, whatever, the Hazrax rune. But I was like so fired up for like 10 seconds and then got like 2 paragraphs later and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I was still right. Kind of.
You were very validated. I thought the
Yeah.
same thing.
Well, yeah, and she just immediately started using the name Kaidan, like in front of other people too. Like
Yeah.
she just
Well, because
made
she
this
broke
hard
it, I guess.
shift. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The next part was one that I was not excited to read. And also, Kyle completely called this like 2 weeks ago. The very first mention in Kaidan's POV where it says, and then white fur and snarling teeth and eyes the color of polished jet. I wrote, no. Just no. I was mad. I was like, no, we're not doing this. This is not happening.
Yeah, and then it says Arias had been a second away from slitting Ceres' throat, but then there was Onyx. The little fox raced out of the shadows and launched himself at the Seneschal's face. He snarled and scratched, sinking his teeth into the thin male's jaw and cheek. And my note here was like, hell yeah, you sneaky little fox. I was super pumped, but also very worried.
He's
I
a hero.
honestly thought it was just crazy that it says Onyx supposedly, in their words, plagued us day and night while we waited for you, Alchemist. And I was like, I know this is not an ideal situation for Onyx, and this is maybe not where my thoughts should be, but you'd think that a Fae king and like his second in command plus some Fae warriors would have been able to take out a fox for days and nights that it was bothering them, and it ends up being an accidental hit that does it. Like, you guys have trained for how many years to shoot arrows, and you got swords. It's a fox. Just kill it if
great
you want
point.
to.
Especially because Onyx got close enough to bite off his
Right,
finger.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't even.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's true.
the only thing I wrote in this section, I mean, I was fully invested in what was happening with Onyx. I was locked in. But in this moment, I wrote that I was just annoyed at us for not remembering that Fisher was holding Onyx as he went through the Shadow Gate. And none of us talked about, like, oh, what's happening to Fisher?
yeah.
But what about Onyx? You know, like, we just ignored him completely in all our theories
Sorry,
for the
Onyx.
last
Dog.
week. I'm so sorry, Onyx.
Oh, no.
But I specifically set aside time to read all of this in one sitting so I could be locked in and focused and really like grasp the end of this book. So I was invested. And so when I read, I'm sorry my voice broke. I would try. I promise I would, but it's too late, Osha. He's already gone. Onyx had taken his last stuttering breath while she'd been crying. He shivered and let out a trembling sigh, and then he'd gone. I cried so hard. Cry count number 2 for me. It got me so good.
I, on the other hand, was not invested in this part, not because I don't care for Onyx, because I do and I love him and he's still the best boy, but because I knew that this was not happening. It just, there was no way that she was going to kill off Onyx here. And if she did, I was still going to be mad about it. So my next highlight was just Onyx let out an agonized yelp, dropping to the ground, and Orias let out a victorious whoop. And I wrote, ugh. I was just like fuming reading this part. Because the whole time, too, I was thinking, like, okay, but she's got this rune on her hand, and I feel like we're going to go through this whole sequence, and then she's going to remember that she has the rune on her hand. And then, so, like, the more that it kept progressing, I was like, no!
Agreed.
Yep. And then we get toward the end of the chapter. This is after Kaidan decapitates Belicon. It says he was good decap too. It was nice. It says he wasn't dead. Whatever dark magic ran through his veins would save him from this end. I knew that, but being beheaded would sure as hell make it harder for him to call on his men and come chasing after us. And first of all, I was like, this sucks. But also, if this is the case, then I mean, Malcolm is definitely not dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Although
I
I
guess,
don't
didn't
know
Malcolm
if,
like
that's what I was gonna say. I don't know
What
if
is the
her
word I'm
magic
thinking of?
and
Thanos.
how she killed him, like the way he ended up, like disintegrating or
There it
whatever,
is, disintegrating.
like did something different to him instead of literally just lopping off his head. So
Yeah.
But if decapitating and
Just lopping off his
splitting
head.
him down the middle doesn't do it, like what?
But I think that happened to Belicon in book 1. Wasn't he like completely wrecked and stabbed
I thought he got
and
stabbed.
cut
I
up?
thought he got stabbed through at least once.
And he obviously survived, so.
Yeah. So fun.
Did somebody have to like pick up his head and put it back on? Because that would be kind of.
All
No,
the
he
king's
like
horses and all
was
the king's men.
ahead laying there and he was like, body, no, to the left. No, your other left. And he's just like sitting there yelling at his
Like
body.
a 90s alien movie.
Watch out for my butt.
Exactly.
So Belicon is Olaf now. Great, chapter 49. This is Sarah's POV, and it's called When We Need the Most. There's a description that Kaidan gives of, he's talking about animals in general, but it's sort of about Onyx's spirit staying with Sarah's. And what he says in this quote is, sometimes animals peer beyond the veil between this life and the next, and they see us here in the depths of our suffering, and they choose someone, one soul they want to help over any other. They come to us, dear friends, when we need them most. You needed Onyx when you first got here, Sarah. So that was sort of his description of like, I still want Onyx to be like a more of like a familiar, like I really want him to be sent by Adina or something just like a little more impactful, but this is also very sweet. But this kind of has me sticking with my theory of Onyx being more like a familiar rather than like, there were a lot of theories floating around about Onyx being Adina or Onyx being like a person. His little fox spirit was like staying with Sarah. So that's where I'm at.
Oh, this was cry count number 3 for me. I was like, chapter end, wipe my eyes, it will be fine. Starts next chapter. Immediate crying again. It got me so good. It's just so precious. It was a really neat description of, just finding a pet and all of those things. But also, I think this solidifies my theory that Onyx is not like a person of any sort. Mm-hmm. If anything, just a regular pet in the sense that like when the Hazrak shows his spirit, it is still just a little fox. on
Yeah.
the ground. It wasn't like a person standing there or something. Like it was just there by her feet. And the only thing I could think to maybe make it a familiar was your theory about how he bit Saris to figure out who it was. Like that he's a little more conscious than just being a regular fox to whatever's going on. But I don't know. I don't think he's a person. I feel like that's solidified for me now. And the fact that like Foley wasn't the cat and nobody else that I've theorized this whole book has shapeshifted. And so if they're not doing it, Onyx isn't doing it either. So yeah.
This is one of my favorite lines in the book, though, I think. I thought that was so sweet. And then I just had another note that I love the description of Ajin's sky being built among the clouds, because they have, and it was kind of mentioned in her POV, like they had talked about Ajin's sky before, but like seeing it and kind of getting the description of it, I thought was really cool.
Well, and like the description of the dragon that's still outside of it and its body and bones or whatever. It was, the whole place sounds so cool. The Hazrax finally shows up, and
Yay.
it's described as, with its slitted nose, the gills at its neck, and its hairless waxen skin, it looks like the kind of creature that lived in the deep, inky waters at the bottom of an ocean. And last episode, I was talking about the water fae ? Like maybe this is where he's from or something, at the bottom of the ocean. Like if we're trying to figure out who the Hazrax is, and I know there's a lot of theories of him being a higher deity of any sort or just a higher being, but maybe he's some king of the water fae or something cool and powerful. Like
There's
a
been other
Bellicon
hints.
Malcolm, but of the water.
There's been other hints to like possibly going to where the water fae are, right? In the series. It would be a good reason to get salt. I'm sure that's plentiful in the
True.
ocean.
Good point. That's a great
Maybe
point.
that's what the Hazrax's real name is.
Salt.
Salt.
Salt. Or
It's
maybe it will
interesting,
continue
though.
to connect to that other series and they'll go to like the salt mine. And
Oh my gosh.
Or it's Veruca salt from Willy Wonka.
ooh, also a good one.
Even better. It's interesting, though, to think about by the end of this section, learning that Styx is ruling some sort of like underworld realm, and that maybe if the Hazrax is some kind of god, that there could be like a water, like an underwater realm of some kind, or like maybe it is just a spot on this map in Uvalia, but
Atlantis.
I like that. Atlantis, yes.
Atlantis. Okay, this is probably my favorite line of the book. I don't know, something with it resonated me. Maybe, I don't know, just in the moment or where I'm at right now or just from experience. I don't really know, but she just was trying to ask the Hazrax if Onyx was actually passed or if his soul was still there. And so she says, right now, I need to know if he's already. And then it says, sometimes words were steep hills so fucking hard to summit. And she says, if he's already gone. I was just like, oh, I resonate with that. Sometimes it's just the easiest sentence, but you just can't get it out for some reason, even though your brain is like, just say the words.
Oh,
So I felt that.
yeah, I like that. This is sort of a pivot into my next note, but when Saris decides to try and heal Onyx, I just thought the description was kind of funny because it says the Hazrax froze, its entire being locked in place as if cast in marble. Like the Hazrax was like shocked that she would come to this realization or like try and do this. And I'm just surprised that he maybe didn't expect this to happen at some point, especially if he had seen everything Adina had seen or the Oracle in general. I just thought it was kind of funny that she's like, I'm going to do it. And he's like, oh shit.
Maybe it's like that thing where you freeze up if someone's doing something really dangerous really close to you and you're like, I don't want to be the thing to mess it up. Just freeze. Let them pass by.
Or maybe the Hazrax is actually a ghost and he didn't want to accidentally get brought back to life.
Don't do it to me.
I love how you started laughing through the middle of your sentence as you realized how ridiculous what you were going to say was. That's funny. But we know that Adina's visions or whatever she has can change. So, because even Saris, like when she gives Kingfisher the book, it was like the best path that she could take is the one where she hands you this book, meaning that there were other options where she doesn't hand him this book or something like that. So maybe this isn't the path that she originally had seen or that he had seen or something.
I feel like
and
it's
maybe
gotta
this
be
is bigger. I don't know.
I feel like it's got to be close because I'm assuming the trade that Kingfisher is about to make is the trade that we're supposed to read more from Adina's book after.
What if it was
So,
the
like-
trade of the rune for Onyx's life? And she should have read it now. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, it could be something else.
It just feels like him saying, I'm here to make a trade, and it's the last line of the book. Feels like probably the trade that's... But, I don't know.
Read on
Something
after the
else.
trade, winky face. You'll know.
I forgot
Good
to
luck.
read the journal. Let the fox die. Oh,
Oh, damn it.
nuts.
She really doesn't read it as often as she should. I don't.
Yeah, it's like if I mean every major decision, really
Yeah.
even any minor decision, she should be like, okay, all right, yeah.
What would you like for breakfast? Hold on. Do you think with her journal and her being like, oh, this is the best option is if he hands you the book, and then the God of Chaos saying like, yeah, there's several different versions of you two that the gods tried to keep apart, never could, and so this is the version of you. Do you think we're in the best possible timeline is what I'm asking? Like, do you think this book is like, this is prime timeline, or do you think it's going to be like oh, you're actually not the best timeline near the end? Like,
They
a
all show up in
struggle.
like felt goatees.
Yeah,
And they're the worst timeline.
exactly.
Yeah, the timeline feels pretty dark right now to me.
This is the darkest possible timeline.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel dark to me, really. I'll say.
I think it
It
depends
doesn't seem
on...
happy.
I
Although
think
no
it
one's
depends
dying,
on,
so
like-
maybe it's the best.
That's true. That is true.
exactly.
It could depend on the perspective because we
Mm-hmm.
still don't really know if Zareth is a well-intended being.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
True.
Like, he could have been doing something super shady, and to him, a darker timeline is something completely different than to someone else
Mm-hmm.
if his goals are different. Like, if he's just trying to destroy it all, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm surprised that Sarah's hasn't had like an existential crisis of being told twice, like, oh, you're this timeline by the gods and by Adina, to not be like, so I don't really have a choice. I'm just the version of myself that did it this way. Like, there's no
Yeah.
outcome of this that I control. At what
Right.
point is she telling the future versus just writing the future and it happens according to her will? But
Or Adina's.
funky cool Medina. My next actual note in this section was that I came to Lauren because I was actually fairly viscerally upset that Saris wasted this on Onyx. And I understand, after having emotions taught to me by Lauren, that some people might have done the same or close to it for their pets. But there are hundreds of more practical uses to this rune than this, and like maybe one of the many higher beings that could also die in days to come. And to use up this magic on Onyx seems like, I hesitate to say waste, but say waste anyway. And I will now take questions and hate mail because I think it was a waste.
Well, when your primary goal is saving the literal universe and tons of different realms, I think that's fair. It makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, she got rid of the rune entirely. It'd be
Right.
different if it was just like, oh, I can do that again anytime. But he better be something great. In the next book of Onyx, better do something other than bite fingers off and lick faces. Otherwise,
take
I
naps.
will say that was an absolute waste. If someone else dies and Onyx lives, I will be angry. Because that was a waste. Lauren,
Wow.
she could have just traded Renfis for Onyx. How's that make you feel?
No, I'm not fighting the fact that
Okay.
I think the part that it was the line for me was when the literal line in the book said, you will not be able to use it of your, oh my gosh. The Hazrak says, you will not be able to use it to free your other friends from their oaths as you had freed your mate. And she says, I didn't care. There would be another way to free the others. And I was like,
Yeah.
how do you know that? Like, that's, and it's not
so
just like one
selfish.
person. It's like a lot of people. So yeah, that was the line for me. Your visual reaction was just at it being a pet. And I was like, hold.
Yeah.
Some people
It was
do
a
love
pet
their
versus
animals,
a
and that's
continent.
fine.
Like, you could save all the foxes maybe if you were careful with it. Like, you could, I don't know, man. This is officially, I think, a red flag on her part. That's so selfish to save a pet over all of the other people that you could save with that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm not against that.
But green flag for Kingfisher to be like, I support you.
It's your power. You do what you want.
So, I mean, if she could undo something like the oath, or even using it, even though she lost it, she like undid death.
Right.
Like, couldn't she do that to undo whatever happened to Everlane?
Yeah, like many
If she
other
cared enough.
applications. Yeah, if she wasn't so enthralled
Wait,
with
who?
this one. Dinky Fox.
But anyway,
No, I mean, if Onyx does something amazing later, then maybe I'll be like, okay, it was worth it. But right now, it does not feel like that was worth it. Like it was a
I
good
tell you
call.
what, Kyle, this is what he's gonna do. I bet you at some point in the next book, dude,
He's going to
you're
show
gonna
up in a
love this.
trench coat.
No, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. He is going to do stretchies, and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're
I'm
gonna
so
get
glad I
him."
saved your life. What a cute little guy.
And it's gonna be totally worth it.
Several of her friends' heads are rolling by, and she's like, "You're just a little guy. I'm so glad you're alive."
Oh my God.
Tongue's lolling.
Shows the belly. Oh, it's a belly scritchy.
Yeah. Onyx was sent by Madra to distract her from important things.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Low-key infiltrator. What a hot take.
The real villain the whole time.
He's an unknowing villain.
Oh
I
my
don't.
god.
He has no ill will.
Sent by Madra.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh, that would be incredible plot twist.
Especially if it
Madra,
was
where
sent
was
by...
she at the end of this?
Who knows?
True.
We
Not
still don't
involved.
know what happened during Even Light in Zalaran.
And we never
We didn't see
will.
her the whole book.
And we never went.
I'm sure she'll be in the... We seem to be doing one at a time here, so...
Yeah.
I'm
But Belicon
sure...
didn't die, so he's still.
Oh, yeah, but it was still like, like a fight that you win, and then they're like, oh, well, you'll see them later. But they still...
One at a time to
One.
eventually 3 at a time
Right, yeah.
at the very end.
Madra will
If
be
you
like...
know what I mean.
have their two heads on her shoulder poultices,
Oh gosh.
Gross.
just advising her.
Which one's the angel and which one's the devil, though?
I'd probably say Malcolm
Sticks
would be
and-
the
oh.
angel.
Malcolm would be the angel?
I think so. I think that's the way to go on that one.
Yeah, probably.
You're probably right.
I don't know why. I have no reason. So the fact that you're acknowledging it is crazy. But
Yeah, totally. No, that's very logical. I think that's...
Wow.
Back to
Okay,
research.
chapter 50. This chapter is called Night. It is a Sarah's POV. And it starts with this little pre-chap blurb
Pre-chap?
at the beginning. I
Pre-chat.
know.
it's
Oh
been
my
so
god, what a
long.
throwback, you guys.
Oh,
Oh
where
my
am I right now?
Anyways, starts with this and it says, stargazers, also known as kingfishers, can be found in abundance from the Galarian Mountains all the way down to the coastal cities of Marinth, Bodish, and Inishtar. Many individuals among the Fae, Selkies, elemental sprites, and satyr populations consider the stargazers a symbol of hope. And this is an excerpt from Fae Creatures of the Galarian Mountains, a missing tome from the Royal Libraries of the Winter Palace. Is that the book that Carrion had?
Yes.
By the way, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. So, stargazers are also the little birds that were in the library that turned into Adina's book. So, is this mean that there are other Adina books out there because there's stargazers in abundance? Or is it the actual bird Kingfisher with the nickname Stargazer? Is what I'm getting at.
My assumption would be an actual bird because it's from this book about Fae creatures.
Found in abundance.
Yeah, but even when
Yeah.
she went to the library, whoever she walked in just told her about these creatures and how they bred, right? Didn't they like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll
multiply
go
and all the
to
things?
One of those places, Marinth, Bodish, or Inishtar. Bodish.
What a
Speaking of creatures.
callback!
Wow. All
Wow,
these
look at
Empyrean throwbacks.
Throwbacks.
But yeah, maybe
Anyways,
they'll end up going there.
I hope this means there's more Adina books out there in the world. But
Or Adina clues at least. And the
Yeah.
like maybe I don't
or
know.
Adina papers for us to see but never open.
Yeah.
It's like a scavenger
Anyways,
hunt.
I know, right? And then this is when she like kind of passes out from whatever magic she had to
Oh.
use on Onyx. Oh,
Sorry, I was just thinking this book sorry, it just occurred to me and I am going to forget if I don't say it. I'm so sorry. this book that we get this excerpt from, I was like, why are we getting an excerpt from this book in like a Sarah's POV chapter? Because she hasn't read it. This is Carrion's book, though. This was meant for him, and it's been passed down for like forever and ever. So if there are stargazers in the Galarian Mountains, and this is the book that he was intended to have to study, if they are Adina papers, they could be meant for Carrion and not for Saris.
Ooh, that'd be cool. I'd be here for that. Like that she left little books around.
Yeah.
That's the novellas. It's just all of Adina's books.
I wish.
So are you saying that all of the stargazers, also known as kingfishers, are paper? Like there's no actual bird? It's
I don't
just
know.
all stuff Adina did?
I'm still leaning toward actual bird for this instance. Because it seemed like the paper stargazers, it seemed like those were just nicknamed like after the bird that they looked like, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Just like Fisher was himself.
I mean, the kingfisher's an actual bird because she had that little figurine of it in her room.
Yeah.
It is legitimately a real bird.
But I guess I just don't know if it's referencing here. Stargazers, the paper, kingfisher, the bird. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something
There's too
to
many
theorize
kingfishers
about.
at this point is what we're saying.
Well, good thing we lost one because his name is Kaiden. Okay. Speaking of Fisher, she calls him Fisher here, by the way, where every other time she's called him Kaiden. I just thought that was interesting. But in this little quote, it says, Fisher's boots left deep indentations in the brilliant white carpet and ... There were other impressions in the snow too, not quite so deep, much smaller, and certainly not Fae. They were paw prints. And I was like, oh, so cute. He's alive. But also, it's like the sprayed edges of the book.
Yeah.
Because it has all the little paw prints. I was waiting for that to make sense.
Yeah.
So cute. And then they finally get up to the Ajun Gate. And who but my man to come walking down with a sexy grin. And he says in his super hot accent that I can't do, "You should have told us you were coming," he said with that warm, lilting accent of his. It's a point of pride for the people of Ajun that these gates should always be open to you, brother. It was Renfis. And my note here was, my boy! He's alive, my boy! I'm so excited. Hey,
Renfis. And I am so glad that we got an update on Renfis before the end of this book. I also feel like a lot of this info about the portal and Ajin and Renfis being an on-call guardian and basically like almost everything that happens in these last like couple of chapters could have at least been, it would have been nice to have them shared sooner for more movement in this book, but I feel like a lot of them weren't even hinted at. I mean, Renfis has been called like Renfis of the Erythian or whatever, like several times, but it felt like it just came out of nowhere. I was a little blindsided, but I am glad that of the things that we didn't get updates on, I am glad that we do have an update on Renfis and that he's okay.
I think I would have rioted if I didn't know where he was by the end of the book. I would have been so upset.
It was my like exact complaint with it too. Another thing that I was venting to Lauren about, where I was like, the first thing I said to Lauren after I finished was that so many of the reveals in this book and series would matter more to me if they had been hinted at. But Renfis at the Ajin and the associated reasons about like why he's there and how he's conscripted, I feel like should have been like, oh, they mentioned something about that in chapter blah 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 way earlier, and instead it just sort of feels like I guess that's how it works.
Yeah. Or there's been other mentions to the bonus chapters. Like the stuff that happened with Morel and everything. But this wasn't even in that. So it wasn't even like, oh yeah, this side information that if you want to know more, you can read about over here. Instead, it was just completely not existent.
Yeah, so I thought it was weird that like, well, was it Ajin, one of the places that was like magically hidden when Ishabal was scrying? I feel like it wasn't.
Oh, I remember you mentioned
because I know it was
like,
like, I know she said it was some of the dark markets.
But she
or
did
something
say,
like that.
or other strong places with magic or something to the effect that if there was a lot of magic there. And so maybe she was just scrying when the gate was opened, or maybe the gate itself.
Yeah,
was
so maybe like
it.
possibly with the pool, that different pool there. But I was like, if we don't immediately know that, then like, why couldn't he have just sent a letter?
Kyle and I talked about that too. Like,
Yeah. 'Cause
it's
mailmen
like-
probably still exist.
Because
Put
it's
it
like
in an owl.
he was obviously on a really important mission, like trying to go around to all these different places to let them know about the rot. And we know that he made it to Galeria, but then didn't come back, or that he was last seen there. And I was talking to Connor, like, I don't really know the timeline either. So maybe the timeline was just, maybe it just hadn't been long enough for them to be like really starting to get concerned.
Yeah.
But if he was expected back at some point anyway, why didn't he just send a letter and be like, oh, hey, my oath mark burned up. I'll be at Agen.
Right.
Literally,
Or like-
what?
And the only argument to that is, you know, it being his land. If Bellicon would be like, hey, if you guys in my mail service, whatever, have anything from Memphis going here, don't deliver it or look at it. But then
Kind of like
you could also just write in code. So like,
Yeah.
what's,
Yeah, I
I
really
agree.
didn't. I really didn't understand that at all. Like why he had to be hidden this entire time.
Yeah. And
This
the fact that
doesn't-
he wasn't like hurting. They just showed up and he's like, "What's up, my brother?" I was like,
Yeah.
"You're
I
not
know,
even. You're fine. What are you
Come
doing?"
on.
And it was like, there was a lot of backslapping when they met each other. And I was like, okay, what a weird line.
Yeah, this doesn't answer that question about why he couldn't just like send a letter, but this was earlier when they were talking about scrying in chapter 43. They were saying, I think this was Ishabal, said, Quicksilver pools, Sprite colonies, the black markets in Dow and on Terran Ross. There are so many locations that are either warded from external magic or contain so much powerful magic that they drown out all other energy.
Okay, so
So
Agen
that
is
would be my
definitely
guess.
probably that. Even just with
With the pool there.
with the gate too.
Yeah.
Not the other gate, the realm gate, but even their physical
Yeah,
gate.
The Iron Gate.
I feel like
Yeah.
But even,
since it-
especially if he
That
was
makes
like
sense.
sent to guard specifically that
Yeah.
Quicksilver whatever gate, and he was standing next to it or something
Yeah.
whenever she was scrying. I feel like that makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was too busy with his guardian duties. Could send a letter.
Could send something.
Well, along that same line, as they're walking to this place, she has this little thought to herself, oh yeah, Lorith had told me where the brimstone came from. And I wrote, cool, could he tell me too? Could he fill me in? Because we get that whole
great.
conversation with them on that little cliff as everyone's playing soccer, where Lorith like told her all the things, but like doesn't actually say anything to us. So I assume that's where she learned this.
That's funny.
And then we get this whole backstory on the Quicksilver / Hell Pool, where Kingfisher went in when he was 11. And like that was his whole moment with getting the silver in his eye and had to go without his relic and all of those things. But I think he's only gone to the gods twice that we know of. One at Agen Gate, where we see him get his sword, and then the other is supposed to be this time when he was young and went in without his relic that I know of. Like 2 times where he had met with the gods. And at some point in between those 2 things, he was named Zareth's champion. So we've seen the one where he just talks to Bal and Mythin, and Zareth is talking to Ceres in the distance or whatever. So it would assume that it would be this time when he was 11 that he became Zareth's champion or had this moment. So does that mean when he went through this Quicksilver pool or this moment and he acts as though he's gone to hell, does that mean Zareth was there? Or did this pool take him to a different place to meet with the like Corcoran gods? Or
Did it say that he was named champion at a certain time, or is it one of those things where it was like he's just his champion and he sort of acts outside of time? So no matter when he showed up, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're my champion, by the way."
I mean, he and Zareth act like they have some sort of history, even
Yeah.
like that they've communicated somehow.
Yeah.
But
Well, and if he's
I don't think
apparently
it
half
says
god, who knows?
specifically when I was 11, I became Zareth's champion.
Right.
Like I don't think there's any of that. But
No, it does. So I couldn't remember if it was confirmed that the first time he met Zareth was in this specific instance, but it is in the bonus chapters. Bal says, how many times have you visited us in our realm, Kingfisher? And in his POV, I didn't have to dig deep for the answer. There had been the first occasion when I was just a boy and Bellicon had sent me into the Quicksilver without a relic, which, yeah, would have to be here. Then there had been another time 3 centuries ago when the god of chaos had approached me with a proposition, one that I had summarily rejected out of hand. This is the 3rd time.
oh, okay. So there was another time.
So Agen Gate was the 3rd time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was just those 2.
But it's
Okay.
weird that, like, in his mind, that's the time, that second one is the time that like Zareth proposed something and he said no. Like, would that be the same instance that he became Zareth's champion?
I guess.
Maybe he became the champion and rejected whatever he won for that. I don't know. It's interesting.
Or maybe Zareth was just like, you don't really have a choice. Like,
Yeah.
he
You're
proposed it,
you're my
and
champion no
Kingfisher
matter
said
what.
Yeah.
I can name whoever I want to be my champion.
Hey, champ.
You got this,
Yeah.
champ.
He thinks
Slaps
he's Zara's champion, but
on the
really
back.
it's just a little kid-year-old version of him. Hey, champ. He's like, hey, champ. I'm this God's champion.
Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better about this specific scene being the time that Belicon sent Kingfisher in, and that he did go, I guess, to hell through this specific pool. I think is the only
But he also would have gone to the gods' realm at the same time.
in the second time, right? When
No,
he
so
talked
well,
to
the first time he saw Zareth was when he got sent through the Quicksilver without a relic.
Oh,
So that they're
no,
talking about the same like
that was the first time you've been
instance.
to our realm, right? That wasn't met with Zareth. It was the first time I went to the realm was when I was 11 without the relic. The second time was when Zareth made his whatever that
But-
I rejected.
But Bal said, "How many times have you visited us in our realm?" Us meaning, I'm assuming Bal, Mithrin, and Zareth, and that's
Yeah, but
technically a
even at the
different
end
realm
of
than this one.
Even at the end of this, there's a lot of like generalizations that I'm thinking is just all gods. So I don't know. Obviously, it doesn't say that straight up, but because even Styx is a god, a Valian god. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because like this realm has a name and it has a different type of pool, and Kingfisher calls it hell, but he doesn't call the other realm of Zareth hell. Like that in my head, they were two different things. But maybe it is a generalization of like the realm of the gods in general. I don't know.
Yeah. Because even at the end, and I know we can talk about this at the end, when Kingfisher says like our father, it could be just a very general like our father who art in heaven, blah, 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 you know, kind of
Father who art in
situation.
hell.
Like I'm just saying, like, if we're just talking about gods in general, like in a very general sense, or are we talking about it in a very literal sense? And that I think decides, are we literally in this place or that place, or are we talking general, the realm of gods, and there is a hell in there and whatever,
I guess
wherever Zareth was with the tree. So yeah, I don't know though, because it's the end of the book. Anyway, we're going to move on and talk about our big bestie, Everlane, who had a major impact on this book when
Who?
she said back in college, the gate is open. It cannot be closed. The gate is open. The gate is open. ... And that was the important thing we learned. Thanks, Everlane. I had such high hopes for her story in this. And that was probably the thing I talked about more than anything going
Yep.
into this book was my theories on Everlane. So I am very disappointed she didn't actually wake up
Yeah.
as herself. Like Adina talked through her, but not,
Yeah.
or whatever's talking through
Something
her when it
did.
said the gate is open. Yeah. But she does not actually wake up. And I don't, I guess, really know what connection Everlane has to this specific line saying the gate is open, unless it is Adina then also talking about her or like talking through her. But those two feel like two different voices, I feel like. When the person
Yeah.
said, the gate is open, it cannot be closed. And then Adina starts talking.
Yeah.
It just felt like two different things taking over her, but I don't know what it is. And I don't really know what Everlane's connection to knowing that the gate is open is. So I will continue to the next year to theorize about Everlane.
Well, like, and Renfis wasn't there when she said that, right? Like, he's been gone most of this book, or was he there?
He was not there when Everlane talked. He was there before, and I had theories that maybe Adina had talked through Everlane and gave Renfis something, and that's where he was, and
That's
that was
right.
like his whole mystery, but none of that
Yeah.
is.
I
think,
just wonder
clear
who,
now.
like, we don't know who it was, but I wonder what the point was of them saying that through Everlane if nobody understood. Like, it didn't seem to help anyone.
Right.
Interesting.
Especially in such a panicked voice.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to help? You're just freaking people out.
Well, and then is this like dark, shadowy figure person? Is that Styx? Question mark. Is that this like? Is she her mind in hell or something, and she's seeing it open? Or I don't know.
I have no idea.
Her
I
mind
could
is
throw out
hell.
random things all day, but I'm never right about Everlane. So
Well, my last note from this chapter was Kaiden saying, it's never been given an official name here. The pantheon of undergods and the dragons they breed there call it Diaxis, but personally, I've always called it Hell. And I wrote, it's about time, y'all. Let's go. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
Literally, hell yeah. This was sort of another pick-me moment for Kaiden for me, honestly. Like,
What?
I wrote, personally, you call it hell? Or, like, maybe other people do, too? Surely it's not, like, another quirk to call a hell-like place hell, you cat-stalking smell rememberer. Like, those are his
Maybe
two other
it's
things. He
his
follows
personal
cats,
hell.
and smells give him memories. It's crazy. And he calls hell hell. He's wild.
Maybe it's not hell. Maybe it's just what he, like, his personal hell. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Nothing. There's no bad ideas today, guys. We're at the end of the book. Literally anything could happen.
There's one bad
Y'all
idea,
keep-
and it's coming
I
up
keep-
next.
I keep saying,
Go ahead, Lauren.
I keep saying stuff, and y'all look at me like, okay, but like literally nothing's off
No,
the
you're
table.
right.
We're at the end of this, so
Half of it doesn't make sense anyway.
we didn't expect anything to happen in this book. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't mind being surprised when I'm reading. So I have no problem if the next one is also, to a certain extent, not what I expect. But yeah, that's where we're at. Theories, throw them out there.
Well, no, we're not there yet. We're chapter 51.
And yes, chapter 51, the obvious, Kaiden Greystar Finvara. And my note here was, are you freaking kidding me with this? Like, what is this? What is this? What is it?
I mean, the whole chapter is him saying, I effing hate dragons. And my whole note was, I effing hate this chapter. And
Oh my gosh.
chapter in quotations. Here's the thing. I think, like, okay, this is usually camera 1. Now you're camera 2. It felt like a moment where it was breaking the fourth wall. And he's just like going about his book. And then he looks at the camera and he's like, I freaking hate dragons. Back to the story. And I was like, what are we doing? Why are we doing
You do that all the time in real life, Kyle.
Yeah, but
You do that all the time. I'll be talking, and he'll say something about like women or something, and then he'll go.
I
up
don't
and
talk.
go,
Whoa! Don't
Am I
put that
right,
on me.
boys? Am I right, guys? Like he's looking off to the crowd for validation for his dumb comment. He does that all the time.
I do that.
Am
I
I
will
right,
admit that I
guys?
do that. However, I live in a real world, and that is my fantasy, is to have a camera 2 right there that I can make snide comments to. This is a fantasy world. He doesn't get to have a camera 2.
Who says it's fantasy? Make it up.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't know who is he talking to in this.
Me. Because my note here was, dragons! I was so excited that they're finally on page because I just wanted dragons this whole time. I was hyped.
Wow. My only reaction to this was I was listening to the audiobook. Like I was in the car trying to listen to some of it. And so it goes through the whole chapter 51, the obvious, Kaiden Greystar Finvara. I really effing hate dragons. Chapter 52. And I just started laughing because I was not expecting it to be one sentence. And I don't know. After finishing the book, I'm still not entirely sure what the point was. I guess we already kind of
Make you laugh.
Yeah. But like his last line of the book is saying that he is coming to claim a dragon, as is his right. But all we know is that he really effing hates dragons.
Yeah.
So
Those could be true.
Integral that we understand that part about his character before we move forward. You know the saying where it's show, don't tell? That's, I think, what bothered me most. Like, I could have just learned he hated dragons by his interactions, but...
or he could have gone full Stranger Things and been like, I'm here to claim one of these goddamn dragons.
Okay, imagine this dragon is this can of soda, right?
All
Anyway.
right, that takes us into chapter 52, Promises and Hope, Sarah's POV. So yeah, they're coming out of the new gate. It says, whatever the foul substance was that filled the pool at Ajin, it was nothing like Quicksilver. It probed up my nose and coated my tongue, filling my mouth with the taste of rot. And my first note here was, isn't the Hazrax's magic described as smelling like a decay? So I was
is
like,
it?
that's very interesting. Because I thought whenever it may have been in her dream thing where she was at college. In her dreams. I forget. It was one of the times where where it was like getting really frustrated with her, and it was like started brimming with power, and she noted that it like smelled like decay or something like that.
Oh.
I thought.
You're theorizing where he's from too, since I just guessed he was water from the bottom of the ocean.
But what's interesting about yours, is I don't remember reading that at all.
With him
Yeah.
having
I
was
gills
like,
and stuff.
yeah. I must have just skipped right over that part or something. I don't know what happened.
Your
My
eyes were
just-
rolling because Onyx was dying, and you
Yeah.
just missed that line. Your eyes rolled right past him.
I also didn't remember it until you said it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I did describe him. Could be a water
So
dragon.
like I was like, okay, is it a dragon or something? Like that would be kind of interesting, especially since like apparently you don't see them much like in Avelia. But I can see a case for either one though, because it's like, the water fae having somebody up on land, just kind of like, taking stock of things, or if it's a dragon, or if it's just another creature of Diaxis, like of that realm, who's just here keeping an eye on things.
Yeah.
What was your or?
There are illustrations of sea dragons on the map at the front of
I
the
know
book.
there are.
So
I
Kyle
know.
just said water dragons.
Yeah, they're there. They haven't talked
Okay.
about them, but they're in
A
the
lot
map.
of times on like illustrated maps, they will
Right.
put random creatures.
Yeah.
Yes, but they were not
to
on the
show-
original map.
Guys, there's even a mermaid riding one of these water dragons.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate to like throw that into like a pail, but we also had sea monsters on our maps for a while, but never saw any on there.
What?
Oh,
So it doesn't mean that they're there.
okay. I'm like, when did BPNF have a map?
Oh, the BPNF map.
I was like,
Got
did I
sea
design a
monsters
map
all
and
over
forget?
it. It basically just is a sea monster.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of wonder if the Hazrax may just be an alchemist, like that. They said their bodies changed or whatever, and maybe they just changed themselves so much to make them completely survivable and immortal, and they're just still hanging around.
That is interesting, especially if it was able
like
to like
that.
give her a rune.
Ooh.
I'm
I like that.
Okay, another note that I added as we were like talking through some stuff earlier. I was thinking back to when we were recounting Kaidan going into and coming out when Belicon like threw him in there when he was 11 or whatever, and it says he came out with a Quicksilver in his eye.
Yeah.
And they were referencing this pool, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a Quicksilver pool.
I think it is. I think it's just like rotted or something, or affected by whatever's happening on the other side. Question mark?
The exact quote was like Quicksilver, but not. That's what the book says.
Oh.
So I'm not sure.
I guess I was just taking the descriptions that we were getting from Saris quite literally. She says it was nothing like Quicksilver. So I assumed that it was like some
Yeah.
other weird substance that is
Yeah.
only like in Diaxis or in this realm, but it also acts like Quicksilver. But yeah, maybe it's like mixed with Brimstone or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
not pure Quicksilver or something like that.
So, okay.
I
I
honestly,
just thought it
like-
was curious. Thought
Maybe
it
this
was
is where
weird.
the rot comes from. Maybe it's got rot.
I mean, yeah.
Got rot. Little rot mustache.
Ew.
Kyle!
The smell never goes away.
This is the darkest timeline.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to be a merch or on the quote shirt. Got rot.
Got rot.
Just like a black.
It's a white head with a.
Which is
oh,
a
no,
black-
then it'll just look
Look like
like,
the
a mustache.
Hazrax. It looks like
I
the
don't just be a white head
Hazrax.
with a black mustache. It's whatever. That's normal.
That's pretty good.
Anyway,
I will say, in terms of taking Saris literally, 'cause I think Lauren and I talked about it too, like, both narrators, I am starting to question how reliable they are describing the things that they are seeing and doing, because some of the things that they said are like how she's describing things, or, yeah, like even Lauren, what you said earlier was like, yeah, Laura told me about that. I was like, okay, well, you're not telling us, so I'm not in the loop at all.
And by narrator you mean like character POV, not like
Yeah,
audiobook
character POV.
narrator. Yeah.
No, they're great.
They are great.
Okay, well, right at the end of chapter 50, she has this whole couple paragraphs about Kaiden's name and how he could only ever be Kaiden to me now and whatever. And then all of a sudden we get here to 52 and she calls him Kai. And that, I don't know why that gave me the ick so bad. I was like, oh, so he's Kai now?
Unreliable
You just
narrator.
call him by a nickname? You knew his name for 10 seconds. Anyways, because she even called him Fisher before, and then it's, I don't know.
She's
Yeah.
just trying to find
After
her
knowing his
footing
name,
somewhere in that name. There's got to be a
She's
good
testing it
nickname
out.
somewhere.
Yeah. She can't call him Dan.
What?
Kaiden.
What?
She can't
Oh.
she can't shorten it the other way.
I just thought you picked a random
I didn't
name.
get that either, Lauren. I was like,
Honestly,
Dan.
neither did I. I was like, I guess she can't. You're right. I don't know why she would, but
Why would she
cannot.
call her by short for Danya's name? Like, I don't get it. Yeah, that went way over my head.
I was thinking like
That's so
Gray,
good.
Star, no, yeah, you can't go Dan.
I'm dirty Dan.
I'm Dirty Dan.
Oh my word. Okay. So then as they are entering into this new realm, it says Kaidan held a thin tube in his other hand, the top half which glowed with even light. He held it out to me. Once I'd accepted it, he produced another of these strange tubes from his pocket and shook it hard, activating it so he held one too. And I was like, ah, glow sticks. It's a rave.
Twirling it in his hand.
Yeah, all our callbacks coming into this episode. I love it.
Like beams of light pop up from the top of the cavern and shine down on the dragon, and it's like a disco ball inside the cavern because all the scales like shining off.
I've been waiting for
Disco
you to
dragon.
arrive.
Yeah, starts breakdancing.
Harrison just like does 2 claps and then the lighting changes.
They don't fight with swords or magic here. It's all dance battle. And you just stepped into the ring.
That's the twist we needed at the
Oh
end.
my gosh. And we talked about that in Throne of Glass. You're bringing all of our stuff back. This is this is Avengers Endgame
Of the podcast.
of the podcast.
Oh no.
Oh,
Wait,
wait.
snap for
Wait
the
a
rest
minute.
of the episode. Oh.
But my next note was that a thunderous rumble split the fetid air, and 2 glowing orange-red points blazed to life in the near distance, piercing the veil of dark. And as I was listening to this, I said out loud, "Dragons!" Which leads into my next note when it says the ground shook beneath our feet as a booming voice spoke. And then it was Stella's voice that said, "Bold." And I went, "Oh, so you're a girl dragon." In the bonus chapter audiobooks, when we meet Omnamshakrai on page, it was Anthony's voice for Omnamshakrai. So I was very excited to hear Stella's voice as Erison.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
And she did great.
she did.
Shout out
She did a
Stella.
great job.
And after it speaks, we read here that its mouth didn't move. The words were spoken out loud. The walls wouldn't have quaked so terribly otherwise, but it must have formed its words differently to Fae and humankind. And I just thought this was a pretty sweet little aspect of how they communicate. Thought that was pretty dope. And then it continues on. She kind of talks about like its master or whatever, and it asks Ceres who she thinks its master is, and she says, "Styx, Lord of the Charred Eyrie, King of Dragons, he is your master, he is the one you must obey." And for some reason here I put, it would make sense to me that this might be Hazrax, but now after we get some more information from like chatting and the end of this chapter, I'm thinking it's probably not. But
Yeah.
that's what first came to me when I read that.
Hazrax is in this realm, though, right? Like her ruining her rune from the Hazrax doesn't break their.
No, I'm assuming he's
deal.
here
So
with her
he's-
like he has been.
Yeah.
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 Maybe that's who
Wherever he
Titan was
is.
talking to when he said he hated dragons.
Oh yeah.
The
He
observer.
just turned to the
He's like-
Hazrax.
I hate dragons. The others go, yeah.
Hazrax is like, how did he see me?
I would love, especially since they were just talking to him, for them to like request their audience with sticks, and then they go into the room and he just like turns around in a swivel chair and he's like, well.
With a bald cat.
Time.
With a bald cat.
Yeah. Nice.
And expecting you.
Okay, so she is reflecting on what is happening. I don't really know how to describe what's happening in this moment, but she says in her own POV to herself, Kaiden's soul was the same as it had ever been, his personality too. But, ... something fundamentally had changed inside him. It was subtle. It was because he was free. And at the time, I just like highlighted it like, oh, that's interesting, you know, whatever. But on my, like, kind of going back through these for my notes, I was like, is his subtle change because he's about to get caught up in all his lies? Maybe he's acting a little shifty here. Something's going on. And then she says, this is just also another random one-liner, I guess, little paragraph that didn't really make sense, but I maybe have a question or a theory. But she just said, I clung to Kaiden so tightly that my hands went numb. Then they started to tingle. No. Huh. Strange. Only my right hand was tingling. The sensation was neither pleasant nor painful. It built up until the unnerving feeling had traveled all the way up my arm and settled in my shoulder, blooming up my neck and prickling along my jaw. Is this the brimstone? Question mark? Like right before the dragon like starts spewing out brimstone? Or I don't know what else this random power would be, or this tingly feeling, because like none of her runes light up, or she doesn't describe him that way, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It's a sweet new full sleeve of tats.
Maybe, yeah, because she's holding on to Kaiden. Maybe she's underneath getting a whole sleeve of tats under her shirt. I don't know. Yeah, I have no answers for that. It was just an interesting line. So
I don't know. But then the muscles in Kaiden's jaw ticked. Cheers,
wow,
fishes!
First one. I've been so thirsty.
Is this it is my first note of the chapter, where Zen says, "End your crime" to Kaiden, and he says, "I've committed no crime." And I just put a gif of Queen singing "We Are the Champions" because it reminded me of the song where he's like, "I've committed no crime." And that's it. That's the whole note. There's nothing important about it.
Thank you.
But I got you to sing on the podcast.
Wow.
So I accept.
Yeah.
Okay, well, right before they pass out, the last thing Kingfisher says is, "Don't speak. When you wake, for the love of all the gods, do not say a single word." And then immediately Saris wakes up and she starts screaming Kaiden's name. And I was like, Saris, just do one thing that's like, you were told one thing, child.
Yes. This also made me think, don't speak. I know what you think. No, nobody. No doubt. Okay, great.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
When Saris wakes up, it was interesting that Kingfisher's tattoos are swirling wildly and forming shapes and geometric patterns before he was even conscious. But when he opens his eyes, the Quicksilver is still. And I'm theorizing, guessing maybe that some of his ink is related to the shadow magic, and now he's back in the realm where it quote unquote belongs. I don't know why.
I've always thought his ink was shadow magic-y.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about the ones that transfer to Saris and Saris to Kingfisher, but like when they're always moving around, it gives shadow
Maybe that's
magic.
why she tingled when her tattoos were moving. She didn't know it or
Call it
something.
that.
You guys made me ink.
I feel like I just had the thought. I feel like his source. Maybe this is very obvious, but he got his source of magic here.
Oh.
I feel like it's stronger here, like the wall that he put up when he tells Saris toward the end of the chapter, "I'll tell you everything when we're safe." I feel like that was like a big chunk of magic, but he just seems to be, maybe that's also because of the whole name thing too, like he's free of all that, but I don't know, his shadows seem to be more powerful at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely have theories about him being more powerful in this
realm. Yeah.
I didn't think about that being related to having like his true name though. That's interesting.
If that somehow, like, I don't know, frees up a well of power in you or something.
Yeah.
All right, well, grab your cup. Get ready for lots of drinkies. The first one is the female standing on my right stepped forward, gritting her teeth, her hand still gripping my shoulder, but a second later, her whole arm was thumping to the floor. Drinkies.
Thumping.
Cheers. Then the same female who was disarmed by Fisher, LOL, clenched her jaw to keep from crying out. So cheers, I guess. And finally, a muscle ticked in Kaiden's jaw as he spoke through gritted teeth. That sounds like a double drinkies.
Okay. I think 4 in a row.
Wow.
That's a new record.
Sorry to people who aren't using water.
Gosh.
Or not sorry.
And then I don't know if this was just like a continuity mistake or something, but in Saris's POV about Kaiden, she thinks he still couldn't lie even here. He had no choice but to tell the truth. And I wrote, didn't you literally just break all of his oaths, Miss Girl? Isn't that what we just talked about earlier in the chapter?
Yeah, I had the same note.
Yeah, I had the same note, but instead I just responded to yours saying, yeah, like, what's the worst that could happen? He goes to hell. Too late. Already here. What are you going to do about it?
Already here. This is the crime. And then Crave says to Githrand, you see this, brother? He spoke loudly for show so all could hear. A weapon from one of the dead houses, older than the halls of this kingdom and theirs combined, and he expects us to believe that the traitor gods gave it to him. So they're talking about Nimmerel here, because Kaidan says that he got it from the same place that he got his shadow magic. Is this where he says that? So Crave is saying the traitor gods gave it to him. So do they consider Zareth, Bal, and Mithin to be traitor gods, I'm assuming? Because Styx... Thanks, Garth. Styx is one of the Avalian gods who supposedly went on some sort of pilgrimage, so I'm not sure who else this would be. Because I still feel like it's sort of Zareth, Bal, and Mithin almost against these other gods of Avalia, because I still feel like something shady happened, but... I don't know, if Styx is like just here chilling, if he's just like been hanging out here the whole time, then I don't know that anything that anything happened.
I could 100% get behind Zareth being the big bad at the end of it all, with him being literally like the god of chaos and like, just, I don't know, just totally messing everything up for the sake of it all. So maybe he did do something that turned him as a traitor, and he's telling everyone they went on some pilgrimage, but really he's this something keeping him away. Or
so then do you think
maybe
that
they're locked in this weird Quicksilver pool and it's rotted and weird that they can't get out?
Yeah, so like
that or something.
Do you think those other gods are stuck here in the same realm, or do you think they all have their own space to like dwell in? If Styx seems to be like the leader of this one.
I could see them all having their own little space, I guess, but I mean, I feel like that would make sense. And it fits very like, I don't know, it feels like a very godlike thing, like Hades and Zeus type situation. But yeah. I don't know. I still could see that there's just a realm of the gods, and when he's talking about this place and those types of things, he's just talking about generally that realm, maybe not specifically that place the tree was at with Zareth or whatever.
When you say realm of the gods, are you thinking more like parallel universe, or just like one?
I'm thinking
world.
I don't know, because there's a giant tree full of a bajillion realms, so
right,
it could all just be different places and worlds,
like a pocket dimension.
I don't know. I was just thinking, like the universe is vast, or are they just their own little places, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But all of the things you guys just mentioned too could also be it, because we have no idea.
I know.
Yeah. But I could totally see Zareth being the big bad. And these guys at the end of this book are set up to be these main bad guys. And then we get to chapter 1 or 2 of the next book, and all of a sudden they're the good guys. And because we just don't know what Kingfisher hasn't told us yet or whatever.
Yeah.
Because all we know is that Kingfisher flips off Zareth every time he sees him, and like his little statue, and that he wouldn't work with Zareth. So if we want to trust Kingfisher, because we at least know him, Kingfisher doesn't like Zareth. So that would be potentially something to get behind.
Yeah, that's
we
interesting.
don't know him. Secrets are still revealed at the end of this book about him.
Well, yeah, but we know him more than Zareth, and we know him more than Styx.
Yes.
I was a little confused. I think part of the reason it felt like some of this stuff was coming out of nowhere is because we did get Kingfisher's POV through this whole book. Or through the majority of it, at least. But I was surprised to be getting his POV when he still has so many secrets and all this like information that Saris clearly needs and is going to have to learn. But we don't get any of it in his POV. I mean, it made sense to have it for the sake of like being in Sylvarin, I guess. But
I think this goes back to Kyle's note earlier about unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Because you and I have recently had a bigger conversation about that trope. And
well,
in a book that I loved and you didn't. But that's what's happening here. And the end of the day is we have his POV, but we're not getting told the whole story or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. So this was more on Nimmerel as well. Saris was noting that Crave's sword looks very similar to Nimmerel, but then he says, like, about Nimmerel, I can scent the magic on that thing. It smells like death, which I just thought was kind of interesting coming from people in the underworld. That they're like under gods and breed dragons, but he's like, that thing stinks. Well, they say it. They keep referring to like multiple, I feel like multiple people, maybe is it all just Kingfisher's POV that have said under gods? But then Aerith earlier in the
realm somewhere too.
Yeah, and earlier Aerith said that he worshipped like the under gods or something, didn't he? So I think we've gotten it from a couple of different sources, but maybe it's not directly related to death. I just thought it was funny coming from someone who like lives there. But this also makes me think that Nimmerel, because it looks so similar to Krave's sword, may have originally been forged in Diaxis. But if Bal and Mithin are seen as traitors, I'm curious how it got into their hands. It seems like it may have been forged by or for Styx, maybe, since Nimmerel also produces shadows, and that's part of like Nimmerel's god sword magic. Later it says, shadow magic doesn't belong in your realm. Where did you get this power? And this is where Kaidan says, the same place I got the sword. So in this instance, I'm assuming he means the gods in general, since apparently only half gods can wield shadows. But that also led me down a rabbit hole of wondering if Finrod is Styx, or if he is also a half god and maybe not Fisher's real father, or like saying how they worded, the way they worded it was that only a half god could wield shadows. But does that mean that a Styx can't wield shadows, or like I don't know. So it just led.
Like, is Finrod his brother? If only like, instead of his dad.
I don't know. It just led to a whole spiral of other thoughts. So we'll get there as well.
Yeah, because you and I had talked a little bit about this off pod, and Kyle and I did too, just about who the heck is Finrod. And I'm kind of annoyed that we're at the end of the book, and I'm still asking who's Finrod. Is Finrod going to show up in the next book? Like all the things. But my same feelings as Everlane, basically, but with Finrod. But this, I don't know. I'm just kind of, now that I've sat with the book for a little bit, I feel like there's just, I want to say that it's just general terms. I've said that this whole episode, just like, you know, about maybe Finrod is his actual like birth father, Adina's husband, the whole bit. And then he came here and was gifted this ability. And so now he's saying in general, you know, like our father, but like in a, I don't know, open like, sense of the person who gave us powers, not necessarily the person who literally is my genetics or whatever.
That would make sense with the way everyone else has been referring to each other as like brother and sister and like children. And
yeah, because it's the same way with Malcolm, like, and everybody calling in that whole relationship and everything. And so it would be the same here, I would think. So I've landed on Finrod is still his dad. And Styx is, or whoever his father is, because we don't actually know it's Styx, whoever here is like the person who has given him his abilities, not necessarily his actual relation. But that's my feelings. I don't know that any of that's true.
I honestly hadn't even thought about that aspect of it until I saw your guys' notes about it.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't thinking like, oh, does that mean Finrod is Styx or whatever? Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just say my only note on it was the whole half god thing had me roll my eyes so hard. I was glad I didn't have like a few pages left because I was having trouble reading, shaking my eyes back into position. After I read the literal text exchange Lauren and I had, as I just sent her finished reading, and she said, and my whole text was called it, and rolling my eyes at Camp Half Blood over here.
So good. That's what it is.
We'll get more into my like thoughts on the book as a whole later about why that bothered me so much, but it did.
Well, this is kind of John was talking about earlier, where Kingfisher seems, or Kaidan seems so much more powerful here in this realm. And this is where my note came from, that where they were both bound by some sort of magic, and Saris was really struggling with it. But then it just says Kaidan rolled his shoulders and shook out his arms, casually shrugging off the magic that still pinned me to the floor. How is he doing that? And then he just like shows all this more epic power and stuff. And then I had brought that up to Khan off podcast, and she and I had this discussion about how he struggled with his power in Zilvarin. And I think we came to the conclusion he said in Zilvarin that he was just far from his source of magic. Yeah. And that's why it was like harder to reach. So if his source of magic potentially is this realm, then we could also look at like the Battle of Ajun Gate, where he showed this like crazy, insane amount of power, specifically with the Iron Gate, and obviously it killed him to a certain extent that he went and saw the gods and that whole scene, but he still did something way more than he probably should have at that moment. And so maybe that was also a link to this weird pool thing being there and him having more magic.
Yeah.
I don't know that any of that is accurate, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, I think that makes
Yeah.
sense for sure.
Mhm.
And Kaiden's jaw works here. So cheers again, my
Cheers.
friends. Last one of the
last
book.
one. That means you have to finish your whole drink. Whatever you have right now, you have to
Oh,
chug
God.
all of it.
40 ounces.
No.
And
Extra sip.
then we get to the last line of Brimstone where he says he has crave. He has crave. And I just imagine that I want to imagine that he picked him up with like one hand and he's just like holding him up by one hand. And he goes, I've come for a dragon, as is my right. Summon our father. Tell him I've come to make a trade. And I was just like, oh shit. Okay. This is
I think I
crazy.
stared into the abyss for a solid few minutes. Just like, what did I just read? Shocked.
This has taken me some time to process. I was not sure what to think about this when I first read it. I think my first reaction was like, why are we just now learning about this? Because we've had his POV. But I am excited that I'm assuming this trade is the one that Adina was referring to in Saris's book, so that Adina also knew that this would happen.
Yeah,
I don't
was
know.
honestly secretly hoping we would get like an epilogue. Like we'd turn the page and it would just look like the note from Adina's book. And we could like read whatever would happen or something as like that would be the teaser going into the next little bit. Like knowing, make this choice or something. I don't know. But obviously it didn't happen. But she could maybe release something. I don't know. We got a whole
Or,
year till the next one.
Get a quick POV from the dragon that just says, I effing hate Kaiden.
Okay.
That's chapter 53.
Let it go. Let it go. Well, that's
Well,
it.
yeah,
read the
that's
book.
it. That's the whole book. Before we move on, though, you need to get the OSHA guys in here for a final check-in. Obviously, we've not
Whoa.
called them in a lot, but we need to get
Wow.
the overall what happened in the book. So I'll call them.
It's been so long.
It has been a very long time.
I'm so excited. They're
Was it
gearing
the
up
first
and everything.
episode?
Maybe, yeah.
Was it? I feel like we haven't seen them. Kingfisher did display some green flags
He did.
compared to
yeah.
at least what happened with Quicksilver.
Very true. Very true. I'm a big fan of Brimstone Kingfish. Kaidan, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's much more, I don't know, emotionally centered compared to
Soft.
before where he was a little
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy.
a little
Emotionally
crazy.
unavailable. Oh, here they come.
Oh.
Wow. Oh.
Forgot the headphones don't really fit on the
Don't fit on my head.
on your hard hat. John always looks like a cool DJ. I mean, that one OSHA guy. I don't know who it is. Definitely not John.
Well, well, well. Who would have thought? Called back to last year's biggest offender. Well, you know when you know. Am I right? Like once a troublemaker, always a troublemaker. You know, I figured I would end up back here one way or another. We were gonna come back for this guy.
Hold on.
So
Wait, hold up. This is the end of the book.
it's the end of
Yeah.
it's the end of the book.
Yeah, it's done. It's like all over.
Oh, okay, hold on. I got 102 mentions of OSHA on my docket, an increase of 33 since the last book. So hold on, let's take a look here. He's gonna be fine, OSHA, I promise.
Compliance.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Oh, and now she was here, my little OSHA, and she was more than I could ever hoped for.
Yeah, that's compliance. Sure, I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how good you look in that shirt, OSHA?
I mean, compliance for sure.
Obviously. Yeah. Okay, well, that's just no fun. I mean, what I meant is there's still a deficit of 33 violations, and frankly, such a strong turnaround reeks of a cover-up. You know?
I don't know. Maybe he's just, I don't know, not a total a-hole.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll be watching. We'll see you in, what's the next one? Salt? Whatever it is, we'll be there. You call us. We'll be around. Give us a call.
Bye, OSHA boys. You're muted. Bye, boys.
Bye, boys.
Wow, it's going to be so long till we see the OSHA boys again.
Wow, yeah. Months and
We're
months.
going to have, we need like an OSHA boys novella to know what they're doing this whole time.
a mini-sode, a bonus episode.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow. Hate to see
It
him
is
go.
crazy how
Love to
every
watch
time
him
those
leave.
OSHA boys are here, you guys are just not.
We always miss him.
Well, we
Yeah.
pass them.
Every time.
You know, Give the
did
old
you
pat
see him
on
in
the
the
button,
hall?
they get
Hello.
going.
We just give one of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
One of those
head
just in the
nods.
hall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love, actually, in not even in this one, an OSHA-based fantasy would be hilarious.
I'm sure it exists.
Oh my gosh.
It's got to be out there somewhere.
We've
Like,
read
where
worse.
some OSHA guy or girl gets pulled into the Fae realm and has to, like, abide by it. Anyway. Well, that's it.
Gosh.
Hopefully they set everyone straight.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We have our star ratings and overall thoughts for Brimstone. Con, you're kicking us off.
Okay, I struggled with my rating for this one. So first of all, we're saving theories for next week. We'll dive into those a little bit more. So these are just overall thoughts, but I struggled to rate this one because I fell in love with this world so much and the characters in Quicksilver, and it seemed like everything was an intentional sneaky Easter egg, but then the plot holes and inconsistencies in Brimstone just kept taking me out of the story. I am still really looking forward to book 3 because I'm hoping it will bring a lot more of the character development, the dwagons, the world building, and general villainy that I was missing in Brimstone. So overall, I did love spending more time with my boys. And I enjoyed some of the crazy plot twists, and I was a little disappointed by all the things that got overlooked. So I think for now, I'm sticking with 3 stars and hoping for the best in book 3. That's where I'm at.
All right. Well, I very similarly love these characters and this, just like the world and just the concept with the Quicksilver, the whole bit. I really love it. And the book Quicksilver was one of the biggest surprises for me last year, having no idea what it was and getting to read it on podcasts, everything, and just being so excited as a group to read Brimstone. And the hype on the internet for this book was crazy, and it was just so fun to be part of it all. It's one of my favorite things about just like the book community. I feel like there were things in Quicksilver that we didn't understand, and we had like all these wild theories about like different timelines and all that stuff. So I want to think that while there are some discrepancies in this book, and even ones that I see people talking about online now that I finished it, I want to think that it's still all going to follow under that same potential reveal later, that it was supposed to be there the whole time kind of a thing. I have hopes. I really wish we went to hell, it sounds funny, like 60% in this book, and then just got like more time there and got to like kind of experience that story, even if the ending was still the same with this reveal and that's the cliffhanger we were at. We still got to experience that realm or that time a little bit more in whatever that would look like, but obviously that didn't happen. When we got there, I was like so excited, and then there was like 5 pages left, so that was a little disappointing. But I wish we did see more of the actual Brimstone, since that's what the book was named after, but maybe that means we'll see it next time. And as much as I don't want anyone to die because I love them so much, I feel like real stakes would have made the book have some of those much more suspenseful moments that I was going for. In the end, though, I love the banter from Carrion. I love him so much. And just seeing more of Kingfisher's softer side, especially with like Onyx and then eventually Carrion and what their friendship has become. And I think where it could go in the like long term of the after this whole series is done, and assumingly that they all live happily ever after. I'm so intrigued by Carrion's story and where it will go. I can't wait. And the Hazrax is such a random character to show up in this book, but I love it so much. Every moment that he was there or it was there, and I'm excited to see how it ties into the greater story even more. Almost none of my theories were accurate going into this book, but I don't think that that's necessarily bad. I think it's fun when you read so much fantasy to have a surprise in the story, or for it to take me on a journey that I wasn't expecting. I have no issues with that at all. So I don't know. In the end, I still gave it 4 stars as soon as finishing, and having sat with it for almost a week, I'm keeping it at 4. I've kind of gone back and forth a little bit for various things, or I see a video or I talk to somebody else, and in the end, I'm sticking with 4. So that's where I'm at.
All right. For some reason, 2.7 stars really stuck out to me. I guess if I had to round up and give it a solid number, then it would make sense to just go up to the 3. But that's 2.7 was speaking to me, because I don't think it's quite a 3 rating. But so I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I did enjoy some things throughout the book. Like the early spicy scenes were good. Like having them early was kind of a nice surprise because you don't expect to get them like right away. I guess being the second book, having that relationship established already, but I feel like it was still unexpected. But then I feel like it became a little bit too much, and I felt like it happened that way for me rather quickly because I didn't want any more spice. I just wanted more story and character development. So I was like, spend that time like more on the other stuff. And there were some great action scenes too. So like not quite as intricate as I like generally, but there was some really good fighting and some really good scenes, some good decaps in there. I felt like the ending generally was very anticlimactic. I was expecting so much more to happen or get like some kind of like really big shock value. I feel like that wasn't really there at the end. More in the second half of the book, I was getting a little frustrated with things like, for example, the Aerith reveal. Like we find out that he was like their end man, but he was killed immediately after we meet him. But then there's no other info or hint at who he was. So it makes him come off as a seemingly insignificant character, but he was a rather important connection like to the Diaxis realm and like apparently Styx, if he was like Styx's emissary. And it was kind of like I had the similar feelings with the Dryad thing to set up Kaidan being trapped in the oubliette. So like many instances where we don't really get any setup for the information, we just like get it when it's convenient in the moment, and then we kind of like move on from there. I found myself just wanting more from the characters by the end. I feel like we didn't get a lot from most of them, honestly. Like Lorith Dania, we just got Renfis there at the end after missing him a while. We kind of talked a little bit about Everlane, and the ones I was expecting to see grow just didn't, I feel like, really grow too much. Particularly Carrion. We kind of talked about him in the last episode about he's getting all this knowledge, but we're not seeing that knowledge. We're not seeing him use it like in action, how we know he can use it. Like we want him to be using it in that like kingly way, but we don't get it. And for me, even like Ceres a little bit, she didn't really like seal her brimstone room. We don't get a whole lot of that in this book up until the end. So all of those things, I'm a little apprehensive about book 3. I feel like what I'm afraid of is that we're going to get to book 3 and then a lot of it is going to feel rushed because we need to get so much information and we need to make so many connections. It's just going to go through everything like really, really quickly.
I said 2 stars, if that. I didn't feel comfortable giving it lower than that, but it's around there, maybe lower. It was just a struggle. I feel like, a lot of similarities. John, everything you said, the big reveals had 0 build up. Some of the characters that were missing from the previous book, or even the majority of this one, had like a write-off excuse about where they were or how they survived. It was just like, I've been doing this the whole time, or I've been doing, and boy, do they survive, because there was no meaningful death. I wish one would happen and just happen. And I feel like you said, the characters didn't develop either. They stayed the same. The aspects that they already had were revealed to us in different ways, but they didn't necessarily grow, and they definitely didn't grow as a group because they were never together. Another thing that I thought, as you were talking, John, I don't know if you feel the same way, but we both read the first one first. And as I did so, I thought of, at the very least for Lauren and some for Con, I was like, oh, she'll love this part. And we're all obviously reading this one together. There was much less of that as I read through this one, where I would think to myself, like, oh, Lauren's going to freak out at this part. Like, there were some obvious things, but for the first one, I felt like I ran into that a lot more. And a big gripe that I have with it, which is just personal preference, so take it for what it's worth. I know it has no bearing on the choices of the author or what others like to read, but I like underdog stories, and there is no underdog here, and there's less and less of it as we go on, as it's like slowly revealed to us that all of our main characters are chosen ones or God-born, and the supporting cast is almost equally immortal and powerful. I fully believe that they could win any battle easily, and I don't want to have to believe that. I sort of want to think that I should be worried for the characters, but I honestly see no reason to be worried for any of these characters going forward, because as we go on, it's revealed that they have more and more connections or powers. But that's me.
That takes us to the cry counter for this book. Surprise, surprise, John cried 0 times. And bigger surprise, Kyle cried 0 times. Actually, maybe a surprise is that Khan also cried 0 times. However, myself,
Shock
I
of the
cried once.
century.
I know. This is the biggest shock. I cried once when Kingfisher was supporting Carrion through his grief, once for Onyx's death, and one for Kingfisher's reaction to Onyx's death. So I have a whopping 3 cries during this book. In Quicksilver and the bonus chapters, Khan cried once when the boys helped Kingfisher close the Ajun Gate, and that was a whole moment there. So this leaves me as the current reigning champ for the Fae and Alchemy series. The series is not done. So potentially one of you is going to cry 4+ times in the last book.
Wow.
But,
Big
It
ask.
could happen.
guess we'll see.
John cried 4 times in a book once. So
Wow.
Once.
once.
One
time.
That's like an everyday thing for me. So,
Green eggs in hand.
well, anyone listening, feel free to comment how many times the cry counter got you during this
Yes.
book. I'd love to know. And maybe I'm not the reigning champ. Maybe it's somebody listening. So.
Could be. Could be.
And that's it. So, no more Brimstone. But don't worry, we'll be back next week with some expanded and expounded theories, including the info that we'll be getting in the Target Edition bonus chapter, along with a few A's to the Q's you can all send our way about the Fae and Alchemy series so far. We'll also be announcing our next series next week, so you probably want to be there for it. Then we'll wrap up Brimstone with our friends from Banter and Bookmarks Pod. And as always, you can find our full episode schedule pinned on the Instagram if you'd like to read along with us. We do have Discord channels for both spoiler-free discussion that matches our reading pace and full series spoiler chats where you can spoil yourself and others. Join us through Patreon to read with us or read ahead with others. And now a Gregorian chant from John.
Wow.
Damn, man. I was queuing up for the rap.
Okay, go back to the rap. Give him the rap.
All right.
I've been waiting for
The
it.
Gregorian chant is easy. I can just go, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Between Pages and Friends. Check out betweenpagesandfriends.com for merch events and to sign up for our newsletter to keep up with all things happening at BPNF.
Got a little
Until next
jazzy
time,
there.
stay wordy, stay nerdy, don't stress, and stay blessed.
Stay blessed.
Gregorian.
Stay jazzy.
Is there any word about the next one or like its release?
Currently slotted for November 10th, I believe.
Okay.
It's 26th. I could be wrong.
Or maybe that. Sometime in November. I don't remember
It's in November.
the date of this book in November.